Okay, let's dive into this mental health stuff because
Yes.
I am just like excited to hear about you and your journey and your story. But I know that you grew up with undiagnosed OCD.
Right.
I like can't imagine how hard that is to like have that as a child. I mean, have it in general, but like, you know, as a
Right.
child, that is just like a whole.
Not knowing
It
what's
was
going
miserable.
on.
Yeah.
I knew what was going. Well,
Yeah, I was gonna ask, did you know it was going on, or was it your parents that were like that noticed it?
I don't know. I can't even remember when I figured out what it. I knew it was weird. I started when I was like 7 or 8, and I started touching things evenly, and then it was like very much like good luck, bad luck. Like if I don't do this, I'll get bad luck. If I don't do this, I'll get good luck. And then like once it started to get noticeable, like my parents were like, "What?" Like I remember I was at a restaurant once, and I was like touched, and they were like, "What are you doing?" And my dad would get like really pissed off about it, and I was like, "I don't know what to tell you." And then it went away. And then I'll never forget. Did you ever watch Victorious as a kid? Mm-hmm. So do you remember they used to have the slap?
Yeah.
So I made an account, like they had like a joke, the slap. And so that was like my first foray into social media. And that night my OCD came back.
Oh,
Isn't that interesting? Like the first time I ever touched social media, it was that. And it wasn't even real social media. But I remember that night my OCD coming back.
How long of a time span do you remember?
I think it was like a year or 2 years off. It was like 2 years off of it. And it was like something that I had when I was a kid, like when I was really young, like 7 or 8. And I think I was like 11 and I made this account and it came back.
Yeah. When it came back, was it the same?
It was like the same, like touching evenly. Like once it just like gets in your head, it just like festers.
Yeah. When were you like, I need to like talk with someone, I need to like seek help? How long did it take for you to get help there?
I was always in therapy. I don't think I was in the right therapy. And then like I eventually was just like, I'm gonna trudge past this. Like like everyone was like, you'll grow out of it, you'll grow out of it, you'll grow out of it. So I was like, okay, my parents were very against medication. Like they were not down for it. So I was like, okay, like there's nothing I can do. I was unmedicated for 21 years of my life. But then when I was working at this record label in college, that was my full-time job before this. I was really passionate about it. And I really didn't, and I had this like fear of getting fired. And it's just like when you have OCD, like you go from like one extreme to the next. So like my OCD and it still is to this, is like if you don't do this, you're gonna get fired. So that was like my thing. And it was taking me a really long time to complete my tasks. I was an intern at the time. And I was like, I can't. Like I'm 21 years old. Like I need to be medicated. Yeah. And it was like during COVID, it was bad, and I didn't want to lose a job or not do well at a job at something I actually cared about because of something that like I could fix.
Yeah.
Is it common for kids to grow out of it, or was that just something?
Well, there was just people that would always tell me, "Oh, I had that when I was a kid, and I grew out of it."
Interesting.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. That's like what they said to me.
Right.
But I did not grow out of it.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you got diagnosed?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I wasn't officially diagnosed until I was 21.
Okay.
But I remember getting really upset because I would tell people and like I'd be like, well, I have OCD. And they would be like, well, no, you don't. Have you been diagnosed? I'm like, well, okay, like I know I have OCD.
Right.
Like I'm like
Yeah.
commenting something and deleting it and commenting it again 4 times over. And like I know I have OCD.
Right.
Like I'm like I knew I had it.
So
Yeah.
it wasn't a thing where you got diagnosed and you like felt this huge sense of relief.
No, I've known I've had it since like I think there used to be this show on TV called OCD with Dr. Drew or something. Do you guys know who Dr. Drew is?
Yeah.
He used to do like celebrity rehab or whatever, but he like did celebrity rehab for OCD. I'm pretty sure I watched it when I was like 9 and I was like, oh, I have that. I'm pretty sure my dad might have told me I had OCD when I was like 8 or something. I forget how I knew, but I knew I had it.
Yeah.
Right.
Since being on medication, how has your OCD changed?
It's way more controllable. Like I can silence it a lot easier. Like I can like move past the compulsion. Like I used to like not be able to get out of bed if I wasn't able to do this one thing. Like I would have a hard time showering. Like it was like getting to the point where like I couldn't shower, everything. And like I was lazy, but I was lazy because everything took so much like work in my head for it to happen. Like that's why I was lazy. You know what I mean? Like because I mean I was also just lazy, but like everything took 10 times longer.
Yeah.
And so I was like everything took so much effort. So I can do a lot more now that I'm medicated because of this, but exposure therapy really helped me a lot. Like I remember, oh my God, this is when I was getting really frustrated. I would have this, I'm very passionate about music. I used to work in music.
Yeah.
It's like I used like in another life I was I worked in sync. Like I would like sync you know, like in a movie or a TV show where they sing songs to certain scenes. Like that was like my dream job for a while. And I had a very hard time adding stuff to my playlist. I would have to add it and delete it and add it and delete. Oh my God, I literally like shivers. Like it was like the worst. It was during the peak of COVID. And like I was like, this is annoying. Like I just want to like be like a person like that can just add stuff to their playlist. And it was something so small, but it really bothered me. Yeah. So I worked on that and exposure therapy, and that really helped me. I need to go back to exposure therapy, honestly. But the medication really helped. Like it really like, I'm like, okay, like it like so I'm able to just like do something and forget about it. Whereas I would do it and like I wouldn't stop thinking about it in the past.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of really good things about exposure
Well,
therapy.
It's great.
What would they do in that instance? What would they do in exposure therapy?
Like they would like make me add a song to my playlist and sit there and be uncomfortable for like 20 minutes. And then they'll be like, see, nothing happened.
Huh.
It's just like to like retrain
It's like retraining.
how you.
Right.
Have you done EMDR?
No, what's that?
Eye movement desensitization
Oh.
and reprocessing. I've done EMDR.
What does it do?
You basically, I did it over Zoom.
Okay.
It works. You can do it over Zoom because over Zoom you can like it's like bilateral tapping, or like in person it's like your eyes are like moving. Like
But it's
you're
mainly
following
used
something.
for trauma,
Yeah.
right?
Got it.
Or just reprocessing
Got
of
it.
things.
Got it.
But I did it and I loved it.
Oh, I'm gonna look into it. I miss therapy today, so I miss therapy like twice a week. It's actually really bad.
How often do you go?
Twice a week.
Oh wow.
And I miss it twice a week.
I was gonna say, wow, that's great.
Yeah.
But
She calls me and I'm like, oh girl, I'm sorry. Again, I can't do this.
Yeah, that's I book Taylor's therapy appointments.
Yeah.
And
because I'll never book them. So she's like, oh, by the way, you have therapy tomorrow
Yeah, and then
morning.
she'll get mad at you if you skip it, so you have to do it.
Yeah. He's like, babe, I have nothing to talk about. And then he goes and he comes home and he's like,
Oh, you do it in
happy.
person? I do it over the phone.
You do?
I can't. But I told her, I was like, I think I need to start coming to you in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good. I'll say this. I'm annoyed every time she lets me know I have an appointment.
Yeah.
But I've never left annoyed that I went. Like,
Okay.
I'm always, every time I've left, I've been like, okay, you know what? Thanks for booking that. Like,
Yeah.
that was needed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Got
thank
you, honey.
I have one more question on this OCD thing. Have you seen the way your OCD presents itself change as you've gotten older?
Yeah. It just like, it's so situational. Like there's so, like, yeah. Yeah, actually. Like it used to, I mean, that's a good question. Just like my rituals and my things like constantly change and evolve.
Yeah.
Like the commenting thing came back the other day and I was like, ugh. Like it's what happens when I get really anxious about things, or I'm really antsy about things that are coming up and I'm really like anxious about like making sure I do a good job or making sure like things that I want to happen. Like then it comes up really, really, really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it started like manifesting in like my workouts. That obviously didn't happen when I was 8. Like how my nighttime routine, it really just depends.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just evolves.